Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. A house destroyed by a fire in Elmira. Around 4:30 this morning, a fire broke out at 1320 Pratt Street. The Elmira Fire Department responded to the scene and were still working on the house around 11 a.m. A neighboring home was also damaged, causing some melted siding. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Governor Hochul announcing a new grant for child care providers. This grant is part of the second round of the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act. Governor Hochul stated that the grant is an important opportunity to help stabilize the child care industry. Applications for $343 million in grants will be open until November 30th. To apply, you can go to the state website. If you're a senior in Chemung or Steuben County, you may be eligible for some limited time only farmers market coupons. Big Fox's Maggie Hall visited a drive-through distribution site to learn more about this opportunity.
The Chemung County Department of Aging has begun handing out coupons for fresh produce and more from your local farmers market. These coupon books can be used at many local farmers markets, such as Wisner Market in Elmira and the Corning Farmers Market held right here in Centennial Park every Thursday. To qualify for the coupons, you must fit the following criteria. You must be a New York State resident who is 60 years of age or older, with a monthly income at or below 185% of the federal poverty guidelines. For example, one person with an income of $2,096 a month, two people with an income of $2,823 a month, or three people with the income of $3,551 a month. If you have already received a farmers market coupon book this year, you are not eligible again until next year. The coupon book in total is worth $25. Not only do these coupons help local people, they help support the local economy as well.
Because if you spend your money on Walmart, then it goes out of the community. You spend your money here, it gets circulated around.
The program is focused on bringing fresh produce and farm-to-table items into the hands of our community's senior citizens. You can receive your coupons all from the comfort of your own car at the next distribution dates. These distribution dates are Thursday, July 14th at Faith Temple Church in Elmira from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. and Wednesday, July 20th at the Chemung County Fairgrounds in Horseheads, again 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Be sure to grab your farmers market coupons to make shopping in the Southern Tier a little easier this summer. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning, Elmira.
An out-of-this-world laser show is coming to Corning this week. The first Lasers in Space show starts tomorrow at the Corning Museum of Glass. Group shows begin at 9:30 a.m. with reservations required. Shows open to the public at 11. After the Little Gather Lasers in Space show, participating kids and adults can explore the rest of the museum for free. Visit the website on your screen for more information on this and other upcoming events. A critical week ahead for the U.S. economy. A new inflation report is expected to give economists another look at whether prices rose significantly last month. Plus, new poll numbers could be concerning to President Biden and his Democratic base. Lauren Blanchard has the latest from Washington.
The White House and Capitol Hill are waiting for new inflation numbers set to be released Wednesday morning. It will give politicians and economists a better idea of how much high prices are hurting wallets.
The inflation problem will remain stubborn.
The May inflation numbers at 8.6% was at 40-year highs. June is not expected to be better.
I think it's going to be north of 8.6. It's going to be an ugly number.
Gas prices have let up a little since $5 highs last month. AAA now showing a roughly $4.67 price per gallon national average.
Wholesale gas prices are coming down, but until we do get a handle on inflation, I think it's natural for a family to be feeling that pinch.
That pinch hurting Democrats ahead of the midterm elections.
When we have the election in the fall, it's going to be very clear who the American people blame.
Only 13% of Americans say the country is on the right track, according to a New York Times Siena College poll. The poll also found a majority of Democrats, 64%, don't want President Biden on the ticket in 2024. He has only a 33% approval rating.
Listen to President Biden. He intends to run, and if he does, I intend to run with him.
The poll found a fifth of Americans say the economy is the most important issue facing the country right now, with inflation not far behind. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Some products seem to be immune to increasing prices despite rising inflation. As chicken, eggs, meat, and other goods keep rising, some fresher items have seen little to no price adjustment. Those products include strawberries and other fresh fruits, vegetables, breads, and pantry goods like salad dressing and dry goods. For those in need of a morning caffeine kick, coffee and Java have seen price increases above 10%, while tea hasn't seen a similar hike. The Tops supermarket in Buffalo, where 10 people were shot and killed in May, will reopen to the public Friday morning. The company announced a small gathering will take place Thursday to honor the shoppers and employees who were killed and injured in the mass shooting. Since the tragic incident, the store has been fully renovated. The alleged teenage gunman is facing murder, hate crime, and domestic terrorism charges, among others. He pleaded not guilty. If convicted, he could face a life sentence without parole. Most health officials now agree as BA.5 makes its mark as the most dominant variant yet, the U.S. is in another COVID surge. Charles Watson reports.
The new Omicron subvariant BA.5 is making its mark as the most dominant and most contagious so far, pushing the daily average of new cases over 130,000 for the first time since February. Most health officials agree we're now in the sixth COVID surge, with cases thought to be severely undercounted as folks rely on more at-home tests. Some cities and states are now considering bringing back mask and vaccine mandates, and doctors say even if you're not in one of those areas, you should consider masking up indoors.
There is broad consensus that wearing a high-quality mask in indoor public spaces is an important tool to control the spread of COVID-19.
Now the focus turns to how to best protect a pandemic-weary public. Moderna said Monday it hopes to have 2 Omicron-specific vaccine candidates ready for the fall, one designed specifically to target BA.5, and the CDC is now considering allowing all adults to get a 4th booster shot, not just those over 50.
The CDC will examine it with regard to whether or not they'll recommend it or allow it or what have you, and that's what we'll be depending on.
But the White House says in order to make that happen, they'll need billions of dollars in new COVID funding from Congress, a non-starter for most Republicans who claim the administration misspent the previous funds.
A lot of these programs had nothing to do with COVID. And it ought to be a top-down audit, and there ought to be consequences.
There's still no word on if or when Congress will move on a $10 billion COVID funding compromise bill. In Atlanta, Charles Watson, Fox News.
Hundreds of couples whose weddings were derailed or scaled back due to the COVID-19 pandemic got a do-over thanks to a New York City landmark. The Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts hosted a Celebrate Love, a re-wedding event in the pavilion outside the center. On its website, the Lincoln Center called it a special day for newlyweds, those whose weddings were canceled or diminished. The event featured a multicultural ceremony, music, and dancing. Your complete forecast is next, plus this.
Medical students at a UK university take a virtual approach to their training. I'm Marianne Rafferty. I'll have details coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, after some morning showers, the rest of the day did warm up under that sunshine. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Triplett, and we were able to hit the 90s and bring in some drier air, which really limited our evening thunderstorm chances, as that risk did stay more across portions of eastern New York. Now, when we head through the overnight, we have to note that we have some clear skies and some cooling temperatures. As we hit the 90s, we'll drop into those lower 60s under those clear skies, and that's some good news for a viewing of the super full moon. Now, the full moon will occur during the daytime on Wednesday, when we won't be able to see it. But if you're able to wake up early enough, you will be able to see the supermoon, and that's when the moon is at its closest proximity to the Earth, and that's where it's going to be the closest actually all year. Now, I say closest, but we still have to note that it's more than 200,000 miles away from us. But at that early morning time frame, it is going to be about 30% brighter. But we also have to see that the moon does set in the southwest just around 5 a.m. when we're seeing that potential supermoon. So looking at sunrise hours, it's just around 5:43. So you also have to battle some daylight. So the earlier you wake up in the morning, the better. Now, again, mentioning moon set is about 5:01 in the morning. So you would have to look off to the southwest along the horizon before 5 a.m. to see that bright supermoon. But the good news is that we should keep some of those clear skies into Wednesday evening. So you'll still see that bright full moon as it is starting to wane as we head into the rest of the week. But as we do head into the rest of the week, for those forecast details, some lingering thunder will be possible as we head from Wednesday into Thursday. As that low pressure system exits the northeast, it is going to leave behind a little bit of moisture that could bring maybe an isolated shower or two. But then as we continue to head towards the weekend, we are going to see temperatures on a warming trend. Upper 80s and even 90s will be back on the board, and there could be some muggier conditions by Sunday, which could fuel the chance for some more storms across the region. So rolling through at least the near future forecast, we'll see for the most part some mixed sunshine and cloud cover across the area, and some weak troughing systems might be able to spark up some of those isolated showers and thunderstorms. Not expecting anything severe. It is going to be a very isolated threat, if anything, but those will quickly move on and be around at least through about Thursday morning, and then we'll start to talk about some clearing into the weekend. So high temperatures on Wednesday, as we see some of those partly cloudy skies and isolated storms, will be just below average, about 83 into Elmira. Wayland just around 78 degrees. Portions of Pennsylvania will be into those upper 70s as well. Into your Thursday, we'll see that temperatures will be slightly cooler as that troughing system does continue to depart the northeast, keeping us into those 70s. But overall, that will feel very comfortable for this time of the year, and enjoy it because we are seeing those temperatures quickly warm back up. We'll be up to 83 degrees on Friday, so average under that sunshine. A little warmer on Saturday with some more sunshine, 88 degrees. But then Sunday, that's when the humidity will be back at play, and we'll stay flirting with the 90s into Monday, with those chances for storms before we'll see some drying and another warming trend into later parts of next work week.
Starbucks is closing some U.S. stores, and Heathrow Airport tells airlines to stop selling tickets for the summer. Cheryl Cassoni has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
Starbucks is closing 16 stores in the U.S. because of safety concerns. The company announced the closings after employees reported incidents of drug use and other disruptive behavior. The stores, 6 each in Los Angeles and Seattle, 2 in Portland, Oregon, and 1 in Philadelphia and another in Washington, D.C., will close by the end of the month. Starbucks is also giving managers at other locations leeway to close restrooms, limit seating, and reduce operations if safety is a concern. Well, London's Heathrow Airport is asking airlines to stop selling tickets for the summer. The airport says it can only handle 100,000 departing passengers per day. It's currently averaging 4,000 passengers over that number, and it's led to longer lines, luggage arriving late, and last-minute cancellations. Airlines and airports laid off workers during the pandemic. They're now shorthanded after COVID-19 restrictions were lifted, and demand for travel has increased. And the world's most expensive French fries are returning to the menu at a New York City restaurant. Serendipity 3 on Manhattan's Upper East Side will again offer creme de la creme pommes frites on Wednesday, National French Fry Day. The price, $200. Ingredients include Dom Perignon, truffle oil, and 23-karat edible gold dust.
A British university is taking a virtual approach to its medical school training. Doctors say this new technology could make learning more flexible. Marianne Rafferty has more.
It's a world first. Medical students at Cambridge University now training on holographic patients. The technology was developed in partnership with a Los Angeles-based tech company. Doctors say it could revolutionize the medical industry.
We had VR simulation, which is kind of like this, but it does not actually use the real space. It's just a screen in front of your eyes.
Students interact with a lifelike patient and one another wearing a mixed reality headset. The learning module features people suffering from respiratory diseases such as asthma or pneumonia.
Sort of wheeziness there, and let me know what you hear.
Instructors can introduce complications during the lesson. Then students must make real-time decisions about the patient's care.
If he treats it in the appropriate way, the patient will improve. If he doesn't treat in the appropriate way, then the patient will deteriorate.
Developers say the technology can be delivered to medics anywhere in the world. They hope it will provide for more flexible, cost-effective training than traditional methods. At Cambridge, Dr. Ruby Woodward says the program supplements clinical teaching and will not replace face-to-face interactions.
Simulation-based learning is very much like an adjunct to clinical-based teaching. So I would never say that doctors need to get off the wards and stop seeing patients.
The program's developers say more modules are in the works to train students in cardiology and neurology.
Still ahead, a rare view of the universe. NASA captures our deepest glimpse yet of the cosmos. That story is coming up. A rare glimpse far into the universe. NASA unveils its first image from the James Webb Space Telescope, capturing our deepest view yet of the cosmos. Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with a closer look.
This infrared photo of galaxies and stars, the result of decades of hard work.
You're seeing just a small little portion of the universe.
The telescope almost acting as a time machine, showing us light from 13 billion years ago, nearly as long ago as the Big Bang.
We're going back almost to the beginning. That is the discovery that we are making with this.
The $10 billion James Webb Space Telescope took off for its mission back in December. Since then, it's traveled 1 million miles. It is the largest telescope ever sent into space, with a mirror diameter of 21 feet. Compare that to the Hubble telescope's mirror diameter, just shy of 8 feet.
Stunning clarity. It will enhance what we know about the origins of our universe, our solar system, and possibly life itself.
The color image the White House released Monday is the clearest and highest resolution infrared glimpse into space we have ever seen in history.
These images are going to remind the world that America can do big things. And they remind the American people, especially our children, that there's nothing beyond our capacity.
On Tuesday, NASA will release 4 more photos the telescope has taken.
A new study finds that looking at art online can help boost your mental health. Researchers from Austria studied the responses of several participants who visited online art exhibits. They evaluated their health and psychological state before and after. Researchers found that even a short visit online notably improved the participants' mental health. It was similar to when they visited a gallery, museum, or an outdoor space in person. Those participants also reported feeling less loneliness, anxiety, and negative moods. A new study says that kids who get too much screen time after school may harm their physical and emotional health. Researchers at the University of South Australia say too much after-school screen time on either social media or TV makes kids less happy than those who play sports, or even those who do their homework. The scientists studied almost 62,000 kids. They looked at happiness, sadness, worry, perseverance, optimism, and other factors. They found kids doing extracurricular activities like sports or even sedentary reading had better physical and emotional well-being. The latest way to make your Twitter notifications less hectic is here. Users of the popular social media platform will soon be able to use an unmentioning feature. It removes your Twitter handle from ongoing conversations. That feature was previously tested and rolled out to a small group of users, but now it's going site-wide. Using this untags your username, stops notifications for the thread, and prevents users from tagging you in that thread again. Gas prices could soon be a concern of the past for many Americans. The adoption of electric cars is reaching a faster pace than expected. A new analysis by Bloomberg of the auto market finds that fully electric cars made up 5% of new vehicle sales in the U.S. during the first half of this year. Continuing on this trend would lead to a quarter of new sales going electric by the year 2025. That is earlier than past projections. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up right after this break. We want to leave you with a smile. An Italian man who loves Pepsi makes sure to get his collection in the can as a record. Christian Cavalletti, who's from Milan, Italy, is the Pepsi man for all generations of Pepsi cans. Cavalletti had his collection recounted in March to give him the Guinness World Record for a second time. Get this, his collection totals more than 12,000 cans. Cavalletti began collecting back in 1989 and has cans from 81 countries. He also has the first ever Pepsi can edition from 1948, a 1960s prototype, and even a 2005 special edition Pepsi can with him and his first record certificate from 2004 on it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is one impressive collection. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks for watching.